October saw an absolute explosion of mods for Cyberpunk 2077. Tons of players and modders returned to the game for Phantom Liberty, and in this video I'll show you the best of those new mods. Some of these making the gangs a more prevalent part of the world and giving them more interactivity, but then some other mods that are just really pushing things forward, including some on the front of custom content in Night City. But before we upgrade your Cyberpunk 2077, why don't we upgrade your own life with today's video sponsor, Ridge. I've been using the Ridge wallet for a little over a year now, and believe me, I have never gotten so many questions about my wallet. It has room for 12 cards and cash, making it the perfect replacement for those oversized dad wallets. And Ridge offers all kinds of designs, so there's always going to be something for everyone, like the brand new Hyper Lime collection. If you go with Hyper Lime, it's going to be hard to ever lose track of your wallet again, and make sure you pair it with a matching key case. These prevent key jingling and save tons of room in my pockets. And you can get up to 30% off if you buy a wallet and key case together. The entire Hyper Lime collection just recently launched, so make sure you check it out. But if you still need more convincing, don't fret. Ridge wallets have a 99-day refund window and lifetime warranty, so you won't ever regret your purchase. And since you watched this video, I'll hook you up too. Go to ridge.com/juicehead or use code juicehead to get 10% off your order. Looking back at Cyberpunk, the first mod we need to take a look at is Night City Alive. This mod will make it so the various gangs of Night City actually patrol around and basically have jobs that are tied to their individual districts and oftentimes lead to some very unique interactions. So now the various gangs will actually do things during the day. In Watson, you'll find the Maelstrom members driving around trucks to support the distribution business they're operating, or at nighttime the Valentinos will come out to keep the streets clear and make sure the local bars are busy. And sometimes they'll just be gang members driving around, minding their own business. Occasionally there'll even be little convoys that don't necessarily follow the rules of the road because, you know, they're gang members just doing their own thing. But on its own, this concept is pretty fun for immersion purposes, actually seeing some of the members of the Maelstrom gang, for example, out and about during the day. But where this gets super fun is this oftentimes leads to far more gang interactions and fights around Night City. So you might find a few gang members doing their job only to be interrupted by another gang, and all of a sudden a battle breaks out on the streets. The police have some gangs that they're just going to attack right on sight, while some others are going to be neutral with the NCPD and they'll just pass by minding their own business. But thanks to some of the new vehicle combat mechanics, you can now find mini car chases that aren't scripted events that will break out between opposing gangs as one tries to run away from the other. And if you're in a gang's district, oftentimes you'll find members on the side of the street as well jumping in on the fight. So all throughout Night City, you'll just occasionally stumble upon these. CDPR added several gang scripted events with patch 2.0, but this is not that. This is natural. It's just two gang members driving around, and occasionally they'll see each other and combat will organically break out. And to add just a bit more chaos, civilians are also going to be far more aggressive with this mod. They're going to react to you or others breaking the law and sometimes take justice into their own hands. Overall, I just found this mod to be a ton of fun. It's a really nice backdrop to Night City, and it really ups the immersion and interactivity of the world. Just by naturally playing the game with this mod installed, you'll run into far more things happening all across the streets of Night City. But if you need something new to deal with those enemies, we also do have the DR10 Wormhole. This is a totally new weapon implemented into the game that will be added to the vendors in Watson. It has the unique effect of being a smart revolver, so incredibly easy to hit lock-on shots, and if you aim down sights, the 10-shot revolver will become fully automatic, so you could feel like a true gunslinger. This mod's pretty simple, but seeing entirely new non-replacer weapons get added into Night City is just exciting, and I feel like this weapon in particular really occupies a fun and unique spot in the weapon pool, because yeah, you just feel absolutely epic taking out a bunch of enemies from afar with your lock-on revolver that also happens to be fully automatic. But if you are looking to make your weapons even more unique, we also do have Preem Weaponsmith. This will open up a variety of new crafting possibilities when making your own weapon. So right off the bat, you could change the type of weapon, whether it's power, smart, tech, and on top of that, apply a bunch of other modifications, like faster reload or even special types of ammo for some incredibly strong synergies. Like for example, creating a long-distance smart SMG with a ridiculously large capacity magazine, so you can really just kind of step back and fire at enemies from afar, and you'll watch your bullets gradually make their way to them, but perhaps you want your shots to have a bit more oomph. Alternatively, you have the fully automatic smart slug shotgun, so you can stand back and watch as your shotgun slugs track to enemies without issue. You can craft fully automatic tech weapons that are near impossible to control just for the fun of it. You're basically providing your own handicaps to your otherwise overpowered build. Or hey, maybe you just know how overpowered ricochets are in Night City and you want your very own dual barrel ricochet rifle that also poisons enemies with each shot, dealing some incredibly good damage over time. These are definitely some of the more ridiculous combinations that you can make with this mod, but in general, this mod is incredibly powerful powerful. It's going to make crafting in Cyberpunk 2077 far stronger because you could really tweak things down to getting some pretty crazy synergies with your build, and this mod even supports melee weapons with some unique mechanics and characteristics for those as well. Mods can be unequipped or remove the rather curious change made with patch 2.0 that when mods are applied to a weapon, they are now permanent. This mod makes it so those mods can now be freely removed and added once again. Then we have GITS 2.5, a new lighting overhaul that will make Night City look like it is straight out of Ghost in the Shell. Visually, this mod will heavily increase the white balance in Night City. There's going to be far more white and higher degrees of contrast in almost every scene here. And oftentimes, the sun rays will even glow white instead of that dark yellow that you have right now. And this mod has some pretty cool effects on the world visually. Car headlights will now really illuminate. You'll see this with other NPCs' vehicles, but also in your own cars. You drive around this reimagined Night City, your headlights will really fill the scene. Nighttime looks better than ever, with some of the colors from the city truly popping as you have this mod installed, and even muzzle flashes get a bit of a boost here, so nighttime gunfights feel much louder and prominent. You'll be able to really tell where those shots are coming from as the enemy's muzzle flash will light the scene around them. The Badlands just feel like an entirely different district. The lighting here gives an almost spooky or horror feel as you drive around or explore, and the district overall just becomes a lot more menacing. And this mod will even rework the rain visual, so rain has a bit of a larger presence and even the particle size seems to be increased. Overall, mods like this are going to always be incredibly subjective, and this one in particular pushes Night City towards a very specific look and style. I think it's pretty fun, a singular mod that could really change the appearance of your entire playthrough, but naturally I imagine some of you prefer the look of the vanilla Night City. Immersive Rippers-Dogtown will make it so going to Dogtown Ripper Docks, you will now actually sit in the chair and converse with the Ripper Doc from the chair, exactly like it would work at a real-life doctor's office. By default, you'll just get a fade to black and then get out of the chair with this new animation, but this mod just makes the whole thing slightly more immersive. Cyberware EX was easily the most popular mod to come out this month. It'll implement a secondary operating system slot, so you can now use a cyber deck with either Berserk or Sandevistan. This will lead to some truly epic combinations in combat. You get slow time and quick hack enemies at the same time, but it's also really well implemented with some of the changes from 2.0. So this new cyberware slot is going to be locked behind some of the higher tier perks. It's not something you could just get whenever you want. And there's even some optional files with this mod, so you could expand these slots of other types of cyberware as well, which although sounds kind of overpowered, this is honestly pretty well balanced with patch 2.0, because on one hand, many of these additional slots are locked behind high level perks, but also now there's a cyberware capacity limit, so you'll still have to deal with that limit as you add more cyberware to your character. But in general, this is a mod giving you far more options on how you can build out your character, and for that reason I think it's just a great addition to the game. The Phantom Liberty Atelier store will be a pretty handy mod for many of you. It'll add in all of the clothing that was newly added in Phantom Liberty to one conveniently accessed store that you can get to from your computer. In the store, you can preview the clothing on your character and of course buy it, so it'll be immediately added to your inventory. Mods like this are definitely on the cheaty side, but considering after patch 2.0 almost all of the clothing in the game is just cosmetic anyway, it honestly doesn't matter anymore. Having easy access to whatever look you want seems perfect, so I feel like a mod like this actually fits in super well. But if you are using that mod, you may also want one of the most popular mods to come out in October with Phantom Liberty Clothes Refit for enhanced big breasts. So yeah, this mod will make it so all the new clothes added from Phantom Liberty will feature a larger bust. And although I know some of you are probably thinking, well, that's rather odd. Why is one of the most popular mods of the month this? And first off, do you follow the modding scene at all? I feel like no, this is not shocking. But secondly, there is a legitimate reason for this mod. Cyberpunk 2077 has the unique quirk of regardless of which breast size you pick while building your character, the clothes your character wears will always be the medium size. So if you pick large or small, it won't actually be reflected in which clothes you're wearing. This mod will fix that, solely for those who pick the large size, and honestly, this mod's more like an extra large size. But if you want to take things a step further and not only change how your character looks, but also how they sound, the ARIANA GRANDE AI voiceover is going to be the mod for you. This will use an AI-generated voice to change V's voice throughout the entire game to sound pretty much like ARIANA GRANDE.
Putting it plainly, you know me, I don't know you. But I'm supposed to haul ass to Night City's worst district. Had exactly bursting with excitement about this plan. Seems like you're the only person in Night City who's happy with his lot. Need your services. Gotta track a guy down. Anders Hellman. Hotshot engineer, worked for Arasaka.
Millisec.
And what's to stop her little errand boy from selling us out?
He will not do that. He's a man of honor.
Right, 'cause Arasaka's ranks are chock full of those.
The crazy part about this one is how good it sounds at points. Like, the AI tech has seriously come far, but the voice itself just really fits in some of the scenes. Although as of right now, this mod definitely isn't perfect, and at times the voice can get fairly robotic.
Loud and clear. Whoever you are, this is one elaborate haze. Or a fucking lifeline.
But overall, mods like this are fascinating as a proof of concept, and a look into where modding could go in the future, like with the Edgerunners Lucy NPC, the mod implementing Lucy from the Edgerunners anime into Night City. She's gonna have a few static spawn locations where you could find her, although there isn't much interactivity here, she'll just be standing somewhere. But separately, using the appearance menu mod, you could spawn her in as a full-fledged companion who's going to follow you around and fight with you. This being another super interesting mod, adding in a fully custom NPC, which is kind of a big deal. As of right now, of course, Lucy is a very basic companion, but who knows where things could go in the future with custom NPCs in Night City. It definitely feels like using this, especially with some AI voice tech, could create some very interesting combinations one day. With that said, those are the top 10 and really top 11 mods to come to Cyberpunk 2077 in October 2023. But if you're interested in some pretty crazy Easter eggs and secrets in Cyberpunk right now, check out this video.